Okay guys, welcome to the video where I'm going to help you use your left hand effectively to fill out "Oh Christmas Tree." We're running after something like this. Watch my left hand. Okay, so if you've been following the Rhythm Techniques for You course and you're in the training center, then you've been going through a lot of getting your hands coordinated, getting rhythm independence going, and being able to feel your rhythms in your left hand. And specifically what I'm talking about is a video above this in the training center. I talked to you about springboard notes in "Oh Christmas Tree." So you learned how to do this with the left hand, kind of finding the upbeat, the off count in the song. So the reason why I'm saying this is because you've done a lot of the groundwork in order to now understand how to feel your music here. If you're watching this on YouTube, this is just going to be a short preview, and if you feel like you're enjoying how I'm teaching this rhythm stuff, and if you feel like you play really stiff with your left hand and constantly play the same thing, then check out my training center up here. You can try it out for $1. Let's jump into things. So what we're going to focus on is we're going to focus on the second part of the song heavily. The first part of the song can be played pretty straightforward. So without any rhythm, you can do something like this. Okay, but before we jump into the second half of the song and explore rhythms in the left hand, let's talk a little bit about activating your left hand when the melody line is going. Now in the training center, I've talked about this. There's two parts that you need to think about when you're playing any song, and that is when the right hand is playing a melody line, you need to find a way to activate your left hand, right? That's the first thing. And then the second thing, when there's no melody line, we call that the dead space. When there's dead space, what do you do? So we'll explore both those ideas here so that you can really start wrapping your head around this whole idea of rhythm techniques and activating your left hand properly. So let's pay attention to what the melody line is doing. So, "Oh Christmas Tree." Okay, so when you have a very busy right hand and a melody line that is, nice and full, that should be ding, ding, ding in your head, and you should be thinking, okay, I can activate my left hand around that melody line. So did you see my left hand there? Let me do it one more time, then I'm going to break it down for you. Okay, so notice how my right hand, "Oh Christmas Tree," my right hand is still staying true to the song. So the melody line's not changing, but my left hand is finding a way to weave itself around that right hand. The pitfall that some people get into is changing the right hand melody line because they're trying to activate the left hand. Don't get into that pitfall, guys. So the way you're going to practice this is just start incrementally. So you should understand that, hey, I have good control of my hands. I know the melody line is going. Let's try and activate the left hand. So, "Oh Christmas Tree." So what you can try to do, like I mentioned already, incremental practice, is try to just have one activation. So the first count of the song, "Oh Christmas," so oh Chris. So on Christmas, you just come in hands together, and then the left hand is going to do activations. Like I said, incrementally, just one activation. So the left hand's shooting for something like this, "Oh Christmas Tree." So let's just activate that fifth interval, and then later on we're going to activate the octave and maybe come back down and do some stuff like that. So slowly. Now notice how you should be practicing here. This is really important. Notice how my left hand is still going, right? I'm still kind of pumping away on the quarter note here. So practice trying to sneak in this activation and then keep the beat going. Here we go. So see how I'm looping here? Okay. "Oh Christmas Tree." That's the first increment you're going to practice. So one more time with one activation. See the activation there? "Oh Christmas Tree." So I'm finding a way to get the left hand weaving around the right hand. Now, we talked about this in the Stop and Digest portion for video 2 in the Rhythm Techniques for You series, where you practice different left hand speeds with your activation. So instead of doing, kind of one activation at that slow tempo, why don't we try to do something like, oh, Christmas tree. So I did hit together on the first count, and then I went lowest note, my fifth interval, and then my octave. Whoa, what happened there? Okay, I decided to go for a faster activation, and that felt natural to me. Let's try to go for a medium activation. Let's see if that would even work with this. Okay, I like that too. Now, the way that you need to think of these fast, slow, and medium activations is just think to yourself, if you're going to do a slow activation in the left hand, what you need to do is just try to hit one note, get one activation in. That'll force you to kind of slow your pace down. And then if you want to go medium, think to yourself, okay, let's just try to get 2 hits in. And then if you want to go fast, try to go for 3, 4, or 5 hits. So that's when I'm talking different speeds of activations, I'm kind of thinking numerically like that. So let's do this. Let's go slow activation, medium activation, and then fast activation, all back to back, so you can kind of see how this all works. And for simplicity's sake, let's just rock and roll on the root, fifth, and octave. I'm not going to throw in anything else, okay? So just root, fifth, and octave. Here we go. Slow activation. Okay? Now, medium activation. Okay, now fast activation. Okay, now the fast activation, notice how the melody line did change a little bit. Okay, so it stayed about 80% true to how the song sounds, but you'll find that as you try to activate at different speeds, your right hand might try to compensate with different rhythms, and so it kind of will vary the right hand melody line a bit. In any case, what I'd like to do is let's just try to do slow activations on all your melody lines here. So okay, now here on this chord, I'm just gonna leave it as is. I don't need to do activations on every chord, so we're gonna go. Now activate. So one activation there. Okay, that's kind of like the springboard note I was talking about. And remember, the springboard note was the video before this. And so if you watched that, that was just kind of primering you for this whole grand finale of feeling your music here. So okay, now to the G minor. So you see how I'm just doing one activation? Okay, now before we move into the second half of the song, where I'm really going to show you the activations and how you can really bring them to life, I want to talk about this first section to kind of wrap.